Hey gang, and welcome back to Movie-Club Emporium. It's another late night video, and not only is it a late night, but this kind of setup seemed appropriate. We are talking about the new found footage movie that just came to Shudder very recently. Nothing really came to the theater any this week, especially around here. Except for the Michael Jackson movie, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I love MJ, but I mean, if you've seen one of those music biopics, you've seen them all. And so it was really just kind of find something to watch, and I was like, oh, let's see what's on Shudder. And so I'm kind of a weird sucker for found footage stuff. For the most part, some of it's either really great or really terrible. And this one kind of intrigued me. We're going with the whole, like, cops body cam footage. So immediately I'm thinking of, okay, like, where are we, like, like kind of like the ending of End of Watch, which is a really great film. And surprisingly, this movie, that light is really bright when I'm holding it weird like this. I'm sorry for all the bouncing. What's really interesting about this particular found footage film is all the other films it kind of draws from, without exactly like being a kind of a carbon copy of that thing. So the basic setup is a couple police officers are called to a domestic disturbance in kind of this like shady area of town full of like homeless, kind of people who are very down on their luck. They enter the house, and there's a officer involved shooting, and things just escalate from there. And what's funny is the movie doesn't particularly, it doesn't, try to hit you with the idea of oh, this is okay, that we're going to get very preachy in this film. It doesn't do that. It's also not a movie that's just like, because you have this character, this officer who's involved in the shooting, and it's not something it's a split second thing. It's not an egregious thing. And so for first, and then they start thinking like, oh, well, he's married, and he has a baby on the way, and I'm like, are we really gonna kind of like try to overly humanize this situation? And it really doesn't. It really does play it as, hey, this happens, and instead of doing what he should do, because of the environment around things like this now, and the perceived, how it would be perceived, right or wrongfully so, he decides to try to cover it up, and things go bad. And so I will say that part of the film, I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I don't know if this is necessarily the opportune time for that type of storytelling, world building. But what interests me in this movie is not necessarily the police angle. It's the lore that this movie is kind of interweaving for the world it's in. Three big things for this movie that it is drawing from. Two of them being other films, and then one being kind of an internet thing. First and foremost, the entity that you meet, the big bad, is a creature called the Underman. When you do see it, it's usually filmed when their lights are out, so their body cameras have gone to infrared. It's very clearly kind of a take on Slender Man. But that is, like, okay, well, that's cool because the Slender Man movie kind of stunk. There's not really anything great adaptation wise, and it's an interesting idea of this creature. It's a cool looking creature. I mean, it's very much, some parts CGI, but it looks cool. It's an interesting design. But the two big film influences on this that I feel are the Turkish horror film Baskin, which came out several years ago, which if you have not seen, it may even be on Shudder, I'm not sure if it is or not. Baskin is a fantastically scary movie. It's a well done horror film about this group of Turkish police officers, sort of tying into that, who are called to a call at this house, this building, and it turns out it's a gateway to hell, and that's kind of what this is doing. Not nearly as well as Baskin does, but definitely in its own way. But it combines that kind of story, that type of thing of Baskin with, oddly enough, John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, because it does factor in kind of the homeless community, and whether or not they are worshippers of this Underman or they are just people who are susceptible to its wiles. But you kind of have this outside force of anytime you're trying to escape, there are much like in Prince of Darkness with Alice Cooper and the others, a very malice sense with these drones that are these homeless people. And so that was interesting to me because, again, it's something that is very, very tied to Prince of Darkness, mostly because the head guy of that is Alice Cooper, but it's not something you see a whole lot of. And I was really intrigued by that, and of course the Baskin stuff, because Baskin is again, if there's nothing else, watch Baskin. It's a fantastic horror movie. And for what this is like a cheap found footage kind of extended VHS segment, because it's only an hour and 15 minutes. And you take out all the credits, probably an hour and 5. Maybe an hour and 10, somewhere around in there. Not a long film. It definitely feels and looks like an extended VHS segment. So, I mean, you're not getting something. It's not nothing groundbreaking like the Blair Witch or, Paranormal Activity or anything like that. But as for somebody who kind of has a guilty pleasure when it comes to found footage, when done right, and also my biggest peeve with found footage movies is you have to give me. I'll follow your found footage movie to the ends of the earth as long as you give me a reason why it's being filmed. And so with this, it being body cam footage and police surveillance, police cruiser surveillance footage, totally makes sense. So I'm totally down with it. The acting in it is kind of ranges the scale. Our main character, not the cop who's the actual catalyst for all this, but whose name is, I think, Bryce. The other cop, Jerome, he is kind of our main character. He's our innocent in all this, and he's really good. There's a scene toward the end where he has to really emote, and he does a really good job. I will say, aside from one scene involving where this girl's mouth opens all weird, like the mouth of Sauron, there's not a lot of gore in it. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely its biggest drawback is it feels like a segment of a VHS movie that if it was in the VHS movie, you'd be like, man, yeah, I mean, it was alright, but it kind of went on too long. It being by itself, it's still, even at an hour and 15, it still has some, you could have cut this down into like a decent VHS segment. Honestly, a really good VHS segment. But, no, again, it was not something that I was just like, oh, I have to spread the word about this movie. You have to know about it. If you like found footage movies, it's on Shudder. It's an hour and 15 minutes, so you plenty of time for it to be on and for it to be over. And again, it's interesting in what it draws from more than actually its execution, which I don't know if I guess is a good thing or a bad thing. It made me want to go back and revisit some horror films. So if you're in the mood for that, I say go for it. But I mean, it's something that's gonna move the world. But for a late night, man, there's nothing in the theater. There's nothing, nothing to talk about. And so let's find something interesting to kind of figure something out. It could have been a giant piece of crap, but it wasn't. So, I mean, I don't guess you need me to tell you to watch Prince of Darkness or Baskin or, basically like any of those weird, honestly, if you want to watch some weird Slenderman stuff on YouTube, you can do that as well. But, if you are looking for just kind of a fun, cheap and easy found footage movie, you could do a whole lot worse than Bodycam. And so I'll be curious to see if these guys are maybe tied to the next, because they did a couple movies. I don't know if they're both found footage. It was like from the guys who brought you two movies you've never heard of. So, I don't know if maybe this being on Shudder can maybe like get them. We can kind of see what to do in a constrained format, kind of like VHS, but no, it's a fine extended VHS segment. That if you're just like, man, I've got an hour to kill and I just kind of want to watch something spooky, do that. So, but it is a brand new movie. It just popped up on Shudder here recently. I think it came out. I don't think it hit theaters, but it hit VOD and stuff here fairly recently. So you can watch it on Shudder. And I guess that's going to wrap it up, this video. This has gone on even longer. This video should have been a shortened VHS segment. Now, a reminder. I know what you're thinking. Hey, and you're not going to watch this video to the end, and so you're going to be like, hey, where's the Mortal Kombat 2 review? We are watching Mortal Kombat 2, and we will be reviewing Mortal Kombat 2. However, it is not going to go up the weekend that it comes out. Nick and I are live for May. The end of May is going to be over the Mortal Kombat franchise. We're talking about all 4 films, plus the weird live-action, I guess it was an internet show, the one with Michael Jai White. So you'll definitely want to join us for that. Make sure you join us next week. Or this coming Saturday. Because this is going up Sunday. This coming Saturday. Nick and I will be live. And we are talking about Mad Max Knockoffs Volume 2. So we're going to talk about some Mad Max knockoffs. And we're going to review our next installment in the Mad Max franchise. So if you want to talk about leather and guzzling and, leather jackets with football pads, you do not want to miss Saturday night's discussion about Mad Max knockoffs. It's a lot of fun, and so that'll be going on live Saturday night at 9 Central Time here. And so make sure you join us for that. As for next week's review, I still don't know because I know there's some stuff coming out. There's a movie that is coming out that Amber and I really want to see, which for her to want to see a kind of a pseudo horror film, very rare. So we may try to see that, and if not, then I will find something for us to talk about. But until next week, when we're back at it again, I will see you guys next time. Bye.